Hi friends, welcome to Durga Soft and welcome to Devops. Okay, so now just observe what is Devops. Okay, so do you know most of the people are feeling that development and operations. Okay, like some people. Okay, so just you should aware. Some people are going to feel it is a new technology came in the market, or it is a new tool came in the market. Correct? What about your feeling? What is the DevOps, sir? Is it a technology or is it a new tool? Respond, because if I ask any person, which is the most trending thing in the current market, like DevOps is the most trending. Okay, that's why I'm learning like so. What is a DevOps? In a single word, you have to tell: is it a tool or is it a technology? Okay, like sir, take very special care. Okay, DevOps is not a new tool in the market. Okay, remember carefully, sir. It is not a new tool or new technology in the market. Okay, it is not a new tool, it is not a new technology in the market. Okay, like then what is the DevOps, sir? Okay, it is not a tool, it is not a technology. What is that? It is a culture what we have to follow. It is a new process what we have to follow. Okay, like it is a new culture. Okay, it is a new culture or process, sir. It is a new culture what we have to follow, or it is a new process what we have to follow to develop, release, to develop, release, and maintenance of software product. Okay, maintenance of software application or project or product. Okay, like software product, like so. If you want to develop or release or maintain a software application, complete life cycle of software application or software project or product, so a new culture came in the market, a new process we have to follow. Okay, like a new culture came in the market, right? So next, with higher quality, with a higher quality. Okay, so with the high quality, I have to develop a project. Okay, with in faster way, in very faster way. Okay, like within very less time only, I have to do that. Okay, so if you want to develop your project, if you want to maintain your project with a high quality and faster way, the best process, a new culture came in the market, or a new process came in the market. Okay, that culture or process itself is nothing but DevOps. Everyone in the position to understand? Yes, friends. So don't feel it's a technology. Don't feel it's a tool. Don't feel it's a tool. Don't feel it's a technology. It is a culture or process, okay, to develop, release, maintenance of software application with a higher quality in very faster way. Okay, like so the beauty of DevOps is we can achieve by using automation tools. Remember this one, sir, by using automation tools. Okay, like sir, what is automation tool? Okay, all these which tools are there, these part I will discuss. Okay, just a basic idea what you people should aware. Sir, DevOps is not a new tool. DevOps is not a new technology. DevOps is a culture we have to follow, or process we have to follow to develop projects with a high quality and in shorter time. Such type of thing, such type of new culture or new process itself is nothing but DevOps. Any doubt up to this? Please confirm. Are you in the position to understand the words, right? Okay, well. Next, sir, for any software development in the organization, sir, for any software development and maintenance, for any software project, there are two groups of engineers are working, sir. Okay, for any software, software product, for any software product, two two types of engineers, two groups of engineers will work together. Remember this, two groups of engineers are required, or engineers will work, sir. Okay, will work. So for any software products, have you heard about, sir, have you observed, right? The first one is development group. What is the first one, sir? Can you please spell out? Okay, respond. What is the first one? Development group. Development group is the first one. Second one, sir, development group. Second one is, sir, non-development group, which is also known as operations group. Operations group. These people are considered as operations group, sir, non-development group. Non-development group. Non-development group. Okay. Or sometimes we can use administrators group. Administrators group. Okay, like we can use the word. So if you want to understand DevOps, first you should aware these two groups. Okay, DevOps is nothing but development and operations. Development and operations. Like, sir, what is development group, what is operations group? First you should aware, then you can understand the word of DevOps very easily. Any doubt? Are you getting right? So what about these two? Sir, further, there are, again, this classification can be divided into, sir, within the development group, there is again coding group is there. Next and after that, coding group is there. Next and after that, sir, what we call testing group, like multiple subgroups are there. But anyway, our concentration is always on main only these groups. Okay, again, okay, if you want, again this classification can be divided into small set of groups. Small set of groups. But anyway, these small sets of groups, we are not required to worry. Our concentration is always on what is the development group, what is the operations group, like you people should aware. Any doubt about up to this? We will discuss in detail, don't worry at all. Okay, like, sir, what is a development group? So to understand DevOps word, first you should have clear clarity about this one, sir, development group and operations group. Sir, what is the development group? Sir, usually if you want to develop a project, sir, which persons are required? Can you please confirm? Generally, which persons are required to develop your project, sir? I want to develop a project. Which persons are required? I want to develop a project. I want to release to the client. Sir, generally, which roles are required? Yeah, excellent. Developers are required. Are coders. Can I use the word developers are coders? Next and after that, do you know business analyst must be required? Remember that a bit very carefully, sir. Sir, here this person is called business analyst. One minute. Okay, no problem. Business analyst must be required. Who is the responsible to gather requirements from the client? Business analyst must be required. Okay, next and after that, do you know system analyst must be required? Okay, he is the responsible to analyze the requirements, whatever this business analyst got, okay, will be converted into functional requirements specification. Like, he is responsible to analyze. System analyst must be required. Next, design architect must be required. Have you observed? Design architect. Do you know this business analyst? Shortly the people are going to use BA. System analyst. Shortly the people are going to use SA. Next, design architect. Architect is required. Architect DA. Okay, like we can. Next, developers are coders. Most of the times, do you know, we are talking about this one. Developers are coders. Okay, like, next, developer. Once the developer developed the code, remember this one. Once the developer developed the code, that total code we have to integrate together, and we have to release, we have to convert into, okay, deliverable thing. Okay, this thing is called build the applications are ER file, where file, jar file, something like a build engineer is required. Correct or not? Build engineer. Sir, build and release engineer, somewhere you may heard about this role. Build engineer. What is the meaning of this build? I will explain in detail. Don't worry at all, sir. Next, testers are required or not? Test engineers are required or not? Can you please spell out? Test engineers are QA team is required, something like QA is required like. So now take very special care about this one. All these people, either directly or indirectly, are responsible to develop a software product. Okay, so these people are belongs to which groups? Are development group. Most of the people are going to fail. Development group means developers are coders. So no. Okay, it is the dev team. Developers are coders. So is the part of development group. There are all these people who are responsible, okay, to develop, to deliver a project. Such type of this group is by default considered as development group. Sir, I can use the word the people, okay, the people who are involving, the people who are involving, okay, involving, the people who are involving, okay, just who are involving in planning. Planning means do you know requirements collection, requirements analysis, design, like a planning. These all together is by default considered planning. Next, coding. Next, build the application. Next, and after that, you know, testing. The people who are involving in these activities, who are involving these areas are considered as development group. Okay, are considered as development group. Remember a bit very carefully, sir. So I can use the word all these people are considered as development group only. Any doubt about this? Yes, Nirmal, was you ready? Yes, have you observed, right? Okay, all these people, the people who are involving in sir planning, requirement collection, requirement analysis, like sir, like next, and after that, next coders, build under testing. Okay, sir, build engineer will come after testing, right? Was you ready? Need not be. So first, multiple developers are responsible to code. Okay, the total code should be integrated and converted into the build. Now that build we have to send it to the QA team for testing purpose. Yes. Okay. So this is these are the examples what you people should be aware. While the concept is going on, you people will get much clarity. Just observe the basic terminology, right? Yes, Nirmal. Regarding, so what they are responsible, okay? So requirement gathering, requirement analysis, and design, like coders are responsible. Next, build. Sir, build, we have to discuss each activity in detail. Don't worry at all. There we have to talk. Okay, almost it's a big course, almost around a 2 to 3 months course. There all these things we are going to get just aware. So operation. So up to this development group, not required to keep any explanation, right? Clear. Sir, what is the other group? I forgot. What is the other group, sir? I forgot. You have to tell. What is the other group? Operations group. Remember this one. Operations group. Okay, like, sir, now I have one small doubt, sir. Okay, sir, this word you have to aware clearly. Very important, sir. Sir, the project developers are, okay, ready to move to the client mission. Okay, listen carefully. Ready to move to the client mission. Development group job completed. Assume that. So to move to the client mission, so we have to configure required softwares or not? Respond. We require to configure required softwares or not? Yes. Okay. So for the configuration engineer is required. Remember this one, sir. Configuration engineer is required. C means configuration engineer. Don't feel, okay, compile time error. Okay, like next thing is, okay, to maintain this system admin must be required. If it requires database admin must be required. Regarding database admin must be required. Next, so whether applications are working properly or not, whether the system database everything is working properly or not, monitoring team must be required. Correct, right? Monitoring team must be required. So all these people are by default considered, yeah, operations team. Now you should aware. So these people nowhere related to the development. These people nowhere related to the development. Sir, project is ready. Project is ready. We have to talk about sir configurations, system management, system admin. Okay, like these people are by default considered, yeah, operations group. Remember, a bit very carefully about this one. Okay, like sir, now the people who are involving, okay sir, here just the people who are involving, the people who are involving in okay release sir, project release, okay, like project release. Next deployment, we have to deployment, release. Next operate. Next, and after that monitor, okay, monitor. So release, deployment, operations, okay, just operate means operations, network engineer, system admin, like monitoring, like the people who are involving in these are considered, yes, yeah, operations group. Remember this a bit very carefully, sir. Operations group. So after project development, project complete development, then the operations team will come in the picture. Remember this one, sir. Okay, like can you please give example for this? Yes, respond. Can you please give an example for this? Yes, friends. So can you please give an example? Configuration engineer. Next, can I use the word system system administrator, database admin, database admin, network admin, okay, network admin, okay, like network admin, like etc. All these people are by default considered, yes, operations team. Remember this a bit very carefully, sir. Release engineers, like release engineers, okay, release engineers, like all these people are by default considered, yeah, operations group. But all the almost whatever we are going to discuss every day, we have to talk about these words. There you will get much clarity. Even at this stage a bit abstract, don't worry at all. Okay, like sir, now total project life cycle, there are two types of teams are going to involve. One is development group, the second one is operations group. Okay, like so development group is the responsible to involve in the planning, coding, build and testing. So once the development got completed, now operations team is going to start in the picture. They are responsible to release, deploy, operations and monitoring, like sir. Now basic idea you people should got, I hope. Correct, right? Yes, friend. Are you in the position to understand the basic idea? What is the development group and what is the operations group? Sir, Devops is a combination of development and operations. Devops is a combination of development and operations, right? Remember this one. So, do you know? So, the main objective of the Devops is to establish, to implement collaboration between these two teams to deliver, okay, the project within the less time with the high quality. Remember a bit very carefully, sir. The main objective of DevOps is to establish collaboration between these two teams. Now if you observe that I have one diagram is there, okay. Now I hope this is the logo of the DevOps. Okay, now observe. Are you seeing any different thing here? Can you please observe that? Here, have a look once, sir. This part is called the development part. Okay, this is plan, code, build, and then test. Okay, they are responsible for planning, coding, building, and then test. Release, so operations part, release, deploy, operate, monitor, like this part is by default. Okay, operations. Now to establish or to implement collaboration between these two people as a single team to deliver and monitor the things effectively, which is this new type of culture itself is nothing but, okay, DevOps. Are you in the position to understand? Yes, friends. Okay, which tools are required? Those tools we are going to discuss in detail. As of now, don't worry about the tools. Just aware the basic terminology you have to understand, right? So the main objective of DevOps, the main objective of DevOps is to implement, okay, to implement collaboration, to implement collaboration between development and operation teams. Development, okay, development and operation teams, development and operation, okay, operation teams to fulfill our requirement. That's also, this is what is the dev apps. Sir, what is the meaning of development? What is about the operations, right? So up to this, I hope it's very clear for you people, right? So it is not a new tool, it is not a new technology in the market, it is a new culture, new process we have to adapt to develop, release and make of software products with higher quality in faster way. Okay, like how you can do that? There are multiple automation tools we are going to use. Okay, like multiple automation tools we are going to use. Okay, like next, sir, what is the dev? What is the meaning of ops? Okay, now basic idea. I hope you got up to this. Clear, friends? Okay. Don't think too much about this. Okay, just the basic overall idea, because the total course we have to talk about these words only. Okay, was already I told. Don't worry about, sir, configuration engineer will be replaced by Docker tool in DevOps, like about tools. This is not correct time. We will discuss all these things in detail. Okay, now, so this is what you people should aware, right? Sir, now I have one small thing is there, sir, to understand the beauty of this new culture. Okay, we have to aware, array, what are various existing software development models. Okay, why we have to go for this DevOps? Then you will get much clarity, sir. Okay, to understand, okay, to understand the beauty of or this new, to understand this new DevOps culture. Have you observed the word? Now I'm not using the word technology or tool. To understand this new DevOps culture, we have to aware already existing SDLC models. Remember a bit carefully, sir. We should aware already existing SDLC models. Models compulsory we should aware. Okay, like sir, the first one, do you know there are several models are there? Have you heard about any SDLC model? What is the meaning of SDLC, friends? I respond. What is the meaning of SDLC? Okay, SDLC means software development life cycle. Software development life cycle. Can you please tell what is the meaning? What is the meaning of SDLC? Okay, can you spell out some software development, software SDLC models? Yes, friends, please observe. Sir, have you heard about waterfall model? Okay, respond. Have you heard about waterfall model? From our childhood onwards, I hope you people may be aware. Have you heard about prototype model? Prototype model, just the names only. You are not required to worry much about these. Okay, even you don't know also, don't worry. We will discuss. Next, incremental or iterative model. Incremental or iterative model. Okay, like next, you may heard about spiral model. Spiral model. Okay, you may heard about rad model. Rad model. Rapid. Okay, like next, you may heard about okay, spiral model, rad model. Next, big bang model. Okay, big bang model. Okay, like next, you may heard about fish model. Okay, fish model. Next, V model. Next, agile model. Okay, agile model. Okay, you may add. Have you observed? So this is, even you don't know about these words, don't worry, sir. I'm here to discuss. But anyway, whatever required, we are going to discuss as unnecessary. So we are not required to discuss all the things. Okay, like so if you aware these, then the beauty of DevOps, you can aware very easily, sir. Okay, DevOps model I can use. Okay, DevOps culture I can use, because it is also a software development model only. It's also a software development model only. If you evade these, then you can understand DevOps culture very easily. The beauty of DevOps, sir, why the software companies are running towards DevOps, then you can evade clearly, right? Okay, but anyway, among these, the oldest model, waterfall models, are the most recent model. I mean, before DevOps, the most hot cake model in the market, Agile model. These are two things I will discuss until. So, what is the need of going for DevOps, so that you people can get much clarity? Can I start the cinema? Yes, friends. Okay, all these models are there. Earlier, I handled one batch. Okay, QA, manual testing batch. I handled, sir, manual testing and Selenium batches. I took this batch. I know all these models in detail. What is the advantage of this model? What are the limitations? Okay, like I know. But anyway, that almost around 10 sessions we require to spend about this, but not required to worry. Just for the DevOps, just basic idea. Okay, you have to get the first model, the last model I will discuss, and then I will introduce DevOps, so that you people can feel more comfortable, I'm sure, sir. Okay, like, sir, now the first important terminology. Let me talk about waterfall model. Okay, waterfall model like. Okay, now here just take a bit very special care. Have you observed, sir, in any software development model, SDLC, what are various stages or phases are there? Can you please confirm? The first one, respond. What are various phases are there? Can you please spell out? Okay, the first thing is, okay, I can use the word. The first one is requirement analysis. Okay, like, just observe that requirement gathering. Okay, requirement gathering, or some people may use the word collection. Okay, we have to collect the requirements, right? Requirement collection. What is the second one, sir? Can you please guide? Requirement analysis. Requirement analysis, sysadmin is the responsible to do that. Okay, SA is the responsible, like. Next, after that, design. Okay, design we have to take. Okay, high level design documents, low level design documents, like UI. Okay, GUI design documents. Okay, like, we have to take a design phase. Okay, like, once a design completed, next we have to talk about development. Okay, or otherwise coding. We can use the word coding. Coding is the more technical word. Instead of development, coding, design, coding. Once coding got completed, then we have to talk about testing. Okay, once testing itself got completed, then we have to talk about release. Okay, release, and then maintenance will come in the picture. Okay, release, and then maintenance will come in the picture. Okay, that's all. Testing, release, that's all. Maintenance, like. So, do you know here? So, if you consider this model, if you consider this models are, now how this model is going to work is very important, sir. So, first, what thing we have to use? Can you please spell out, sir? First, what is the step we require to use? What is the phase? First, what is the first phase we have to use? Okay, requirement gathering. Next, and after that, what is the next one we have to take care? Okay, like, requirement gathering analysis, like. Now, there is one how this model is going to work is, assume this is the first step, this is the second step. Okay, this is the third step, fourth step. Okay, like, sir, next, fifth step, sixth step. Okay, seventh step. Now, on the steps, if you flow water, if you are passing the water, how the water will flow? On this, so it is flowing just like water from top to bottom. That's why this model is by default considered as waterfall model. Remember this one, sir. Okay, what are just once first step completed, then only second step is going to start. Once the second step completed, then only third one is going to start, then only fourth one is going to start, then only fifth one is going to start, like. This model is by default considered, yeah, waterfall model. Why the word waterfall? Are you saying waterfalls, falling of water? Who respond? Are you seeing falling of water? That's why the word waterfall model. Okay, like now here, so this model is also known as sequential linear sequential model. Can I use the word linear sequential model? So this is first you have to complete this one. After that, this one is going to start, and then we have to start about this one, and then we have to talk this. We require to talk like this. All these steps are required in the normal waterfall model, right? Now here, so what advantages are there? What problems are there? Because so just let me talk more on problems aside, because this model is not recommended. What are various models are there? What limitations are there, sir? Very, very important point. Take very, very special care. Okay, like sir, is it applicable for AI projects? No chance at all. Okay, Viraj, those days already gone. It was a history. Okay, 1950s, 1960s, first time the people used software product, software. At that time, the model is waterfall model. Remember, it's almost gone. It was history. No one is going to use. What is the reason for that? Okay, like now observe that very carefully, sir. Do you know there are two examples I will discuss so that you may get much clarity. Layman examples, right? Suppose I want to build, assume that I want to build some 3-floor building. Assume that. Okay, simple, sir. 3-floor building I want to build. Assume maybe scale up until 1,000 floors also, no problem at all. So first, assume that our 1,000-floor building I have to take. I have to construct. Okay, assume. Sir, now do you know? First, sir, this is about my requirement, 1,000-floor building. Now, my requirement is, observe that, sir, first floor, okay, pillars, and then slab completed. Okay, and then second floor, pillars, and then slab completed. And then third floor, pillars, and then slab completed. Okay, like, sir, like all the 1,000 floors, sir, pillars and slab completed. Assume that pillars and slab completed. After that, now I want to talk about, okay, flooring of the first floor, flooring of the first floor, flooring of the first floor. Next, I have to talk about flooring of the second floor. Next, and after that, I have to talk about flooring of the third floor, like all the 1,000 completed. Now I have to talk about electrical work of the first floor, electrical work of the second floor, electrical work. Sir, are you going to do like this? One by one? Is it unnecessary? Time waste or not? Array, you have to, if you are going to do first activity in all 1,000 floors, second activity in all 1,000 floors, third activity in all 1,000 floors, sir, to construct a 1,000 floor building, minimum, sir, 10 to 15 years must be required. Are you getting right? 10 to 15 years must be required. It's a very difficult. It's very time waste. Cost is going to be increases like anything. It is never recommended, right? Now my question is, sir, whenever second floor pillars started, why don't you start interior work of first floor? Regarding why don't you start interior work of first floor, so that there is a separate team is going to work in this first floor interior work. Meanwhile, second floor pillars and slab is going to be ready. Whenever third floor pillars and slab is going to be there, interior work of second floor is going to start. Next, the paint work of the first floor is going to start. Okay, like if multiple people are going to involve like that, instead of doing one by one, parallelly if they are going to do, is it really advantage or not? Yes, friends, are you in the position to understand? Okay, this must be required, man. Okay, like suppose here best another example to understand. I will tell. Just observe that. Suppose here assume that, okay, 1,000 kilometers road, 1,000 kilometers national highway. Sir, we have to. There is a contractor got national highway. He is responsible to construct. So what he has to do is first all the 1,000 floors. Okay. First level road, all the 1,000 kilometers, first level road means raw material they are going to flow, and then they have to keep some concrete. all the 1,000 kilometers, and then they have to go for sir, what we call damper or something like concrete, like he has to. No, no, no. They never going to do like that. What they will do is, sir, these 5 kilometers, one team is working. Okay, the first 5 kilometers, one team is working. Next 5 kilometers, another team is working. Next 5 kilometers, another team is working. Like so, these 5 kilometers, there is no dependency at all. Why we have to wait, man? Okay, in the first 5 kilometers only, all stages are going to be completed, ready to use. Next 5 kilometers, okay, so parallelly it's going on like so. This type of development is always highly recommended. Anyone? Are you in the position to understand? Yes, friends. Okay, like suppose best example, if you consider Hyderabad Metro. If any person is coming from Hyderabad Metro, or otherwise university also Metro is there, just observe that. First, okay, first Metro, sir, Hyderabad Metro is assume that, sir, total, sir, just, sir, 120 kilometers, total 120 kilometers, sir, 4 lines are there. Assume that 4 lines are there. Now, so all 120 kilometers, all 4 lines, first pillars has to be started. First pillars has to be constructed. Next, after completing all 120 kilometers, 4 lines, then, okay, next level work is going to start. No, the people are not going to do like that. What they will do is, they will start 4 lines parallelly. Okay, now once a first line completed, immediately it will be used. Okay, after 2 or 3, next thing is going to be completed. After 2 or 3 months, the next thing is going to be completed. They never going to think about from first to last, under the next level, like. Are you in the position to understand? Okay, the problem with this waterfall model, are you seeing, right? Once you started here, next until completing last one, okay, there is no changes in the middle. Okay, once the last thing completed, then only we have to talk about next level. How worst it is. Yes, friend. So suppose here you are in the coding stage. Assume that. So until design completed, the developers and the testers should be vacant. They are not having any work. Okay, until coding completed, testing team will be just, they have to come to the office and they have to go free. Okay, like it is a bigger problem, unnecessary. Okay, cost of the project is going to be increases like anything. Development time is going to increase like anything. Are you getting right? Development time will be increases. Okay, remember. Next, the cost of the project development will be increases. Okay, like sir, observe. Next, it won't accept requirement changes in the middle. Okay, suppose already coding started, sir. Suddenly client came, sorry, I have some changes in my requirement. What we have to do? Have you observed? Coding already started. Now, suddenly client came, sir, we have some requirement changes. What we have to do? Nothing. So again, we have to start from beginning only. Okay, like it is. So it won't accept. Accept changes in the middle. Requirement changes in the middle. Okay, it won't accept requirement changes in the middle. Okay, like requirement changes in the middle. If it is not going to accept requirement changes in the middle, then the client satisfaction is very, very low. Okay, client satisfaction is very, very low, because so in day to day, sir, every day the changes, new trends are going to come. Sorry, okay, I don't want this. Can you please change my requirement? Can you please change the requirement? Like so, this model is not in a position to provide support. Remember a bit very carefully about this. Are you in the position to understand, right? Client satisfaction is very, very low. Okay, like next, suppose here, sir, if there is a bug, when the bug is going to be identified? Somewhere at last stages. At last stages, do you know, bug identification, the cost of bug fixing is very high, because when it will be after completing total product, then only we have to identify the bug. Are you getting? After completing total product, then only we require to identify the bug. Okay, sir. Now bug fixing. Okay, bug fixing is bug fixing is very costly. Bug fixing is very costly, because okay, we can't identify bugs in early stages of life cycle. Remember this one, sir. In early stages of life cycle, okay, we can't identify bugs. Okay, like next, not suitable if the requirements keep on changing. Have you observed, right? If the requirement keep on changing, sorry man, this type of model is the waste. So not at all suitable. Not at all suitable if requirements keep on changing. Requirements keep on changing. Next, not suitable for large projects. Remember this one. Not suitable for large projects. Not suitable for large projects like. So n number of problems are there. That's why waterfall model was the history. No one is going to use this model. Any doubt? Any doubt about this one? Okay, like then immediately ask, sir, here you are telling all the limitations. Maybe some advantages also there. Okay, advantages are okay. Everything is clear, easy to implement. So first this person, next this person, next this person, next this person. Advantages, if you want, just briefly, not required actually, but anyway, just aware. So advantages, it is very simple. It is very simple and easy to implement. And easy to implement. Correct or not? It's very simple and easy to implement. Okay. Next, and after that, okay, like it is easy to. Next, best suitable if the requirements are fixed. Okay, best suitable if requirements are fixed. If requirements are fixed. Next, best suitable for small projects. Okay, best suitable for small projects. For small projects like. Okay, but anyway, it was the history. That's why what is the use of knowing advantages? It is meaningless. Observe the problems especially, right? Why this model is not suitable? Why this model is not using that much frequently these days? You should have clear clarity. Any doubt? Yes, was every day. Okay, no overlapping between the pages, like there are multiple. Okay, like so why waterfall model is not frequently used? This not frequently, no way. The people, why the people are not using this model? Why it was the history? So now I hope you are in the position to understand this one, right? Okay, like now take very special care. Okay, so the most recent model, hot cake model in the market. Okay, before Devops, the most recent hot cake model in the market is, have you aware, Agile model? Have you heard about this one? Yes, friends. Do you know last, if you in the software company, if you can ask any person, we are using Agile model, Agile methodology. We are using Agile. Okay, like sir, now I can use the word. This is the most frequently. This is the most frequently used and hot cake model. Okay, in software development. Okay, but not now. Okay, now the trend is Devops. Okay, remember, this is the most frequently. This was, I can use the word was the most frequently used and hot cake model in software development. Almost around 10 to 20 years. This model, last 10 years around, this model was the hot cake in the market. Okay, like sir, now so Agile model is divided into multiple submodels are there, sir. Okay, just these words are very important, sir. Agile model is divided into multiple submodels. multiple sub models like sir, just observe these. Of course, we are not required to worry about these things. Even the people who are working in the companies also, it is not required. Just aware the words. Okay, first one, rational unify process. Okay, what is the first one, sir? Can you please spell out? Rational unify process. Rup, like, okay, rational unify process. Second, adaptive software development. Adaptive software adaptive software development. Okay, development. Do you know we can use the word ASD? Okay, ASD, adaptive software development. Next, feature driven development. Sir, feature driven development. Sir, development, feature driven development. Okay, like FDD, we can use the word FDD. Okay, like next, crystal clear. Okay, crystal clear, it is also one submodel of Agile. Crystal clear. Dynamic, okay, dynamic software development, okay, method. Don't worry, all these names you are not required to worry, just aware the words, that's all. DSDM. Okay, like next, extreme programming, extreme programming, XP. Okay, extreme, okay, XP, something like okay. Next, next, the most valuable, I hope this word you people may heard, scrum. Have you heard about this one? Oh, respond. Scrum model. Have you heard about this? Scrum. Okay, like now the people, especially you are working in the companies, this word is the very popular word in the company in Agile. Remember that there are multiple submodels are there, but among all these submodels, okay, which model is the very popular, sir? Scrum model is the very popular. Remember a bit very carefully about, okay, among all these models, which model is the most popular and frequently used? Scrum model. Scrum model is the most popular and frequently used model. Okay, like any doubt? Are you getting why this one is the most frequently used? What is the meaning of Scrum? We will discuss in detail. Don't worry at all. Just aware, sir. So, oldest model we saw, the model which was almost 1950s, 1960s, we saw waterfall model. This waterfall model is the linear sequential model. This is not at all required. Okay. Now, the most recent model in the software industry to develop software is Agile model. In that, multiple submodels are there. In that, Scrum is the most popular model. Okay, like now, sir, what is Agile? What is Agile? Do you know Agile means speed? Everything should be speed. In that, what is Scrum? You should aware. There is one more word I want to introduce. Okay, sprint. There is one more word, sprint. I want to introduce. So total 3 words are there. In the Agile model, Scrum is the submodel. Scrum is a Agile based model. Okay. In that, sprint will be there. What is the meaning of sprint? Any idea? Any idea? Anyone? The people who are working in the companies? Okay. Sprint. What is the meaning of sprint? Okay. Remember, not sprint means not fixed duration. Don't tell abbreviations. Yeah. Here, just take a bit very special care about this one. Sir, waterfall model, the biggest problem is if you consider with the waterfall model, 2 important things. It is the linear sequential model. Because of that, step by step is going to be happen. Because of that, development is going to be increases like anything. Development is going to increase like anything. Next, and after that, development time cost is going to increase. Requirement changes won't be accepted in the middle. But sir, Agile model, forget about the sprint. I will cover in detail next. Scrum is agile based model. Agile based model. Okay, one thing. Next, it is not a linear sequential model. Linear sequential model. It is not linear sequential model. Remember this one, sir. It is not linear sequential model. Okay, like next, I can use the word. It is a iterative model. Okay, remember this one. It is a iterative model. What is the meaning of iterative model? Sir, have you remembered 3 examples I covered? Okay. So if you want to implement metro project for 120 kilometers of 4 lines, what we will do is, so we won't continue for 120 kilometers at a time. Okay. We will convert into small parts. We will convert into small parts. Okay. For this part, all stages are going to be developed. So for this part, all stages are going to be developed by a set of team. Okay, like now, have you observed, right? Now multiple small divisions I want to take. Total activity I want to divide into small, and the required team I will hand over this work for the required team, sir, for complete life cycle. For this complete life cycle, I will hand over the required team. Okay, like the same way. This is small part of total software project is called a sprint. Remember a bit carefully about this one. What is the word sprint? Sprint means, sir, here it is an iterative model. I told, right? So iterative model. Now total software will be total software product will be developed. The total software project will be developed increment by increment, and each increment is called a sprint. Remember a bit very carefully, sir. So what is the meaning of sprint? Okay, so the portion, the part of the individual part of the project, okay, which is by default considered as sprint. Are you getting the words? Respond. 3 things you people should be aware. What is agile? Agile means agile means speed, something like. Scrum is a agile based model. Remember a bit carefully, right? So in the scrum, each individual part is by default considered as a sprint. Like, sir, best example is, I want to build a website of 100 pages are there, sir. I want to build a website of 100 pages. What we will do is, we want to build all 100 pages simultaneously. So what in the waterfall model, what will happen? All 100 pages development completed. Now I show to the client. Okay, suddenly client is asking, hey, this color is not good, can you please change the color? Wow, too worst. Are you getting? So now you have to change the color for all. You require to change the color for all 100 pages. Are you getting? All 100 pages. Okay, now what we will do is, so these 100 pages will be divided into around some 10 pages like. Now observe that 10 pages like part by part. Okay, now these 10 pages first we will develop. We will develop these 10 pages. In that one, 2 or 3 developers, 1 or 2 tester, and UI engineer. Okay, I mean UI designer, front end designer. Like I will add whatever required to develop these 10 pages. Almost 7 to 9 members are required. These 7 to 9 members I will assign this sprint. Okay, now this sprint is going to be delivered to the client. Regarding this sprint is going to be delivered to the client. Now immediately client is telling, sir, okay, the color is not good, can you please change the color? Oh, then immediately, so the remaining 90 pages development not yet started. Now are you going to accept this change, requirement change in the middle or not? Yes, friend, is it possible or not? Your respond, is it possible or not? Yes, requirement change is going to be acceptable. Next, yeah, so sprint, so do you know, small pieces, continuous delivery. Have you observed the bond? Continuous delivery. Continuous delivery. You can use continuous delivery is there. First 10 pages we are. Next remaining 10 pages in the next 20 days. Remaining 10 pages next. Okay, like so continuous delivery. Sir, here continuous feedback. Continuous feedback. Client is always keep on giving. So which is going to accept requirement changes in the middle. Requirement changes in the middle. In the middle. Requirement changes in the middle. In the middle. Next, client satisfaction. Client satisfaction is very high. I'm sure, because if he's asking any change, no problem. We are in the position to provide support. Okay, like continuous delivery, continuous feedback, requirement changes in the middle. Client satisfaction is very high. Okay, like next, lesser. Okay, lesser development time. What is the reason for that? Is so in the first sprint, 2 to 3 developers. Next, UI engineers, UI designer, next tester, all the people are working together. All the people are working together. Collaboration is there. In the second sprint, so all the people, 2 to 3 developers, UI developer, next test engineer, like all the members will work together simultaneously on that small piece of work. Okay, that's why parallel development is possible. Okay, less development time. Next, and after that, less development cost. Are you getting? Lesser development cost. I hope everyone in the position to understand, right? Why the sprint? Why this agile model, scrum model? Why this is very popular in the industry? Because of these advantages. Sometimes what will happen, if these are individual parts, parallel development is also possible, because at a time multiple sprints also going to be delivered. Parallel development itself is possible there. Clear? Are you in the position to understand? Okay. Now observe that a bit very carefully, sir. Now the word scrum. Yes, Nirmal. The parallel, multiple sprints are going to be developed. Multiple sprints are going to be delivered. Okay, it is possible. Next, scrum. Actually, the word scrum is this is derived from rugby game. Rugby game. Have you ever heard about this one? Rugby game. Have you ever heard about this one? Rugby game. So, do you know what we call the total team? The total team is going to concentrate on one particular area. The total team, testers, developers, okay, like the total 7 to 9 members who are allocated, all the people are going to concentrate on this. Okay, like something like, do you know, if you observe, if I use, sir, this is a scrum in rugby. Have you observed, right? Now all these red team, just they hold the ball. It is something like football game. So they hold the ball very tightly so that not available for the other team. Are you getting? Are you seeing something like? Yes. Okay, like so developers. Okay, assume that developers, UI engineer, next a tester, all the people are going to work together to deliver that. Okay, that's why the word scrum. This word is derived from where? Rugby games. Okay, like. Next, a sprint means a small piece of the work. In every sprint, 7 to 9 members are going to work. 7 to 9 members will work, sir. Okay. Sprint. In every sprint, 7 to 9 members are going to work. Next, each sprint will be delivered in from 1 week to 3 weeks time. From 1 week to 3 weeks time. General words. 3 weeks time. Remember that. Okay, like 7 to 9 members will be there. Each sprint will be delivered. Each sprint will be delivered from 1 week to 3 weeks time. Okay, this is about the Agile Scrum model. All the people, laymen also can understand what is the difference between sprint or Agile Scrum model and Waterfall model. What is the difference, right? Anyone, can you please tell? Yes, friend. Are you seeing the difference? Waterfall model. Okay, here just observe very carefully. Linear sequential model. But this one is incremental model or iterative model. Next, waterfall model. Requirement won't change. Requirement changes won't be accepted in the middle. but here scrum model requirement changes are going to be accepted in the middle. Next so every stage is going to be started after the previous stage, but here parallel development is always possible. Okay, developers and testers can work simultaneously together. Okay, like next and after that, development cost is less in scrum model, but development cost is more in agile model, in waterfall model. Okay, like that's why. So almost for the last decade, the agile model ruling the market because of these advantages. Clear, right? Are you feeling comfortable? Any doubt about this? But anyway, we are not going to talk about okay, like sir, yeah, here Nirmal is asking one small doubt. Okay, Nirmal doubt is sir, in one sprint, okay, sir, in one sprint, all team members work of a particular members. All team members means no. A group of members will be allocated. Okay, from the total team. Okay, three developers, something like three developers, one UI designer. Okay, one UI designer. Next and after that, one tester, one test engineer, something like that. Are you getting now? So almost one scrum master will be there. Like okay, this is these people okay, some 7 to 9 members will be allocated for that particular sprint. Different members will work together. Okay, like next another 3 developers, another UI designer, next another test engineer will concentrate on the second sprint. Something like parallel development is possible. Clear up to this? Are you feeling comfortable? What is the already waterfall model is there? Okay, why this scrum model, why this is very much popular, sir? You people should have clear clarity about this one. Okay, agile, everything is the speed like now. Okay, I have one bigger doubt. Sir, such a type of beautiful model is already there. Why we have to go for Devops model or Devops culture? Okay, now do you know why we should go for Devops? Why we should go for Devops? Okay, now take very special care. Most of the people are going to feel. Okay, DevOps is nothing but agile model. DevOps is also based on the agile. Okay, like most of the people are going to feel. Remember that DevOps and the agile both are different models. First important clarity. Okay, even though there are some areas similarity is there, but okay, some areas similarity is there, but still both are different. Remember that, sir. Which similarities are there? Okay, remember a bit very carefully, sir. Which similarities are there here, right? So the first similarity, remember that both are software development methodologies. Okay, both are software development methodologies. Okay, like sir, I can use. So what is the purpose of DevOps, sir? We are going to use for software development, right? Both are software development methodologies. Okay, like one minute, sir. One is sir, this agile is almost for the last 20 years it is there, but DevOps is the recent thing. But anyway, both are software development methodologies. Okay, like next the second one, sir, both the models. Okay, both the models concentrating on rapid software development. Okay, with the team collaboration. Okay, rapid software development with the team collaboration. Okay, like sir, here in the agile we can use the word. In the agile we can use the word Sir, here software team collaboration we can use the word. Next and after that, rapid agile speed. Agile means speed development like. Okay, this is so based on the similarities. Don't feel that, sir, here also team collaboration is there. Here also rapid speed development is there. That's why. So DevOps is also agile based model. No such type of thing at all. Sir, which differences are there? Remember this. What differences are there? Very important point. Sir, in the interview room, maybe a chance of asking, sir, what is the difference between agile model and the DevOps model? Can you please tell some differences, right? Okay. Very important terminology. Listen carefully, right? Do you know the difference between these models will start after development of the project? Remember, until software development, both models are always the same. Okay, the difference will come once development of the project completed. What is the meaning of that, sir? What it means, sir? Sir, do you know DevOps talks about development and operations. Correct or not? Respond. Development of the project, even post development also. My DevOps is going to talk. DevOps will talk post development. After development, operations part also is going to be covered. But this bloody agile model talks about only development. Remember, it never talks about operations part. Okay, agile model talks about only development, but not operations. But not operations. Sir, in the operations part, agile model, no. Agile model is applicable only for development, but DevOps model talks about complete life cycle, complete product life cycle, okay, like development and operations. Are you in the position to understand key differences, sir? Key difference between DevOps and the agile model is agile only talks about development but not operations, but DevOps talks about development as well as operations. Okay, there is one small image is there, sir. These are not my created images. Okay, these images already there in the Google. If you want, you can observe. Sir, observe that carefully. Sir, here DevOps talks about both the things, but this agile only talks about development. Have you observed? It talks about only first part. It never talks about the second part. That is the one important difference. Okay, like second difference here is, okay, very important, sir. Second difference is, in agile model, separate people are responsible for developing, testing, and deploying the software. Correct, right? Okay, in agile, tester is the different. Developer is the different. UI engineer is the UI designer is the different. Okay, deployment person is the different. Okay, but in DevOps model, the beauty of DevOps is everyone is all-rounder. Okay, developer is the operations person is the development team. Okay, everyone is all-rounder. Remember that. Even though you are specialized in the development area, sir, I'm the specializer. I'm the specializer in the development area. Assume that. So even you are specialized in the development area, but you should have, sir, complete picture on the remaining total thing. Okay, total thing, sir. So individual dependency won't be there. So that's why. So the DevOps role is also known as DevOps generalist. Okay, generalist. Are what is your qualification? What is your role in the DevOps? DevOps generalist. This word generalist means general. In any area I can involve. In any area I can involve. So, do you want me involved in software configuration management? Yes, no problem at all. Do you want me involved in development? No problem at all. Like so, DevOps engineer. Okay, is DevOps engineer is all rounder. Remember a bit carefully. Any doubt, friends? Are you in the position to understand? Okay. Yeah. Now observe. So the second point is the very, very important, sir. In Agile, in Agile model, separate people. Okay. Separate people are responsible. Separate people are responsible. Are responsible for development, testing, deployment, etc. Okay, for every activity, sir, every person role is the different. But in DevOps, but in DevOps, okay, DevOps. Here just observe that. But the DevOps engineer is responsible. The DevOps engineer is responsible for everything, development to operations to development, everything, like development to operations and operations to development, like. Okay, that's all. So now you people may ask a bigger thing, sir. Okay, sir, then we should aware total thing. Array, you are not required to worry total, but basic idea compulsory you should aware on complete process. Okay, now the developer never going to talk about release process in the earlier, but compulsory in compulsory here, everything should be done. Everything should have clear idea. That's why DevOps engineer should be the generalist. Complete idea should be there on the complete process. Remember, the client is always required the source for the persons who are talking about complete picture, but not the people who are talking about only development or only operations. That is also one important thing. Okay, like sir, up to this, are you feeling comfortable, right? Yes, friends. Okay. Next, agile model won't force us to use automation tools. Are you getting automation tools? That person is always talks about, array, total job. Can you please divide? Into small activities? Better to do small activities. Okay, parallelly. That model is always talks. It never talks force us to use automation tools, but DevOps model is completely based on automation. Okay, remember that most of the work will be done automatically. We are not required to do much activity. Most of the work is based on automation. We are not required to do much activity. Because of this automation also, n number of advantages are there. Okay, like so bug fixing is the very easy. So just monitoring will be there. Everywhere automation tools we are going to use. That is the beauty, sir. That is automation is the biggest important strength of DevOps. Remember a bit carefully, right? Next, sir, one more difference. Agile is always gives the importance, always giving highest priority. Agile always giving highest priority, priority for highest priority for speed, because the name itself indicates agile speed development, rapid development, right? But sir, DevOps giving the priority, DevOps giving the priority for both the quality and the speed. Remember this one. Quality is also important. Quality of the product is also important, sir. Okay, cut into pieces, and each piece you are going to develop individually. Maybe a problem. Okay, like clear, right? Agile is always giving highest priority only for speed. Only for speed. Sometimes may compromise with the quality, but here DevOps is always talks about both quality and the speed. Okay. Next thing, very very important thing, sir. Okay, sir. Here just observe in the Agile model when we will get the feedback from who is the responsible to give the feedback. Respond. Who is the responsible to give the feedback in the Agile model? Client is the responsible. Correct. Client is the responsible after seeing the product. Okay. In Agile, client is the responsible to give the feedback. Feedback for the sprint. Okay. Like, but in DevOps, immediate feedback is available. In DevOps, immediate feedback is available because the total activity will be configured, will be monitored. There are some monitoring, self-monitoring tools are available. Self-feedback is there. Immediate feedback is there. We are not required to project it to the client and waiting for feedback. No, immediate feedback from our monitoring tools. Remember this, there are several automation tools we can configure for monitoring of every stage in our DevOps. Remember, that is also one important beauty. So in Agile, client is the responsible. Client is the responsible. Okay, to give the feedback. Client is the responsible to give the feedback, right? So for the sprint, like client is the responsible to give the feedback for the sprint. But in DevOps, immediate feedback. But in DevOps, immediate feedback is available from the monitoring tools. Remember this one, sir, from monitoring tools. Okay, like that's what you should aware. Are you in the position to understand? Now with this, sir, have you observed, right? Okay, multiple differences are there, friends. Just only collaboration, team collaboration, and rapid software development. By seeing these two things, DevOps is the Agile based model. No. Agile based model is the different. DevOps model is the different. DevOps is always talks about automation. DevOps is always talks about okay, like yes, SDLC until development, both the things are same. But this one is going to talk about the next level things also. Next in the SDLC also, okay, SDLC also there is a difference. This person is always going to impose everywhere automation tools. Yes, Edgondala is asking something. In SDLC, is there any difference? Yes, this person is always talks about everywhere automation tool is the mandatory, but there automation tools are not mandatory. Technically, any disadvantage automation apart from losing jobs? Was there already no chance at all? That is the trending we require to do. Monitoring tools, Nirmal, monitoring tools means if a server, my server is there, my application is running, keep on running, sir. Keep on running, provide the service. By mistake, my application is down, maybe some problem in the server. Okay. So I have to check manually whether my application is running or not. Instead of that, I will configure one automation tool. Immediately, once this application is down, immediately this monitoring tool is going to raise the alert saying, boss, there is so and so application is not running for the last 5 minutes onwards. Please check. Like immediately alert is going to be raised by monitoring tool. Okay, we can configure monitoring tools. Okay, like next automation tool means which is going to be performed automatically. Monitoring tool is also automation tool only. We are not required to operate. Automatically it's going to do that. Okay, clear. So if any person is asking what is the difference between DevOps and Agile, are you in the position to understand? Yes, friends, everyone in the position to understand, everyone in the position to give left and right to that person. Yes, these are various things you should aware. So in the olden days, one worst model we have, waterfall model. Next level, the most hotcake model, Agile model. Okay, now the people are always talks about DevOps. Okay, this is the future trend as of now. Okay, DevOps. The biggest specialty of DevOps is end to end, completing it's going to talk both development and operations. End to end, complete thing is always going to talk. Remember very carefully about that. Okay, next, the biggest specialty, automation. Everywhere automation. We are not required to do anything. Automation tools by default will be there. Continuous monitoring by default will be there. Continuous feedback is their biggest asset to the DevOps model, right? Okay. Now, can you please, from this total discussion, okay, what is DevOps? Okay, can you please confirm again? Is it a new tool or is it a new technology in the market? Respond. Is it a new tool? Is it a new technology in the market? No, it is. It is a new culture. It is a new culture or process we have to follow for software development and operations. Okay, DevOps talks about both the development and operations. Is a combination of development and operations. It is the process of process of continuous. It is the process of continuous development. Okay, continuous development, continuous build. Okay, like we can use the word, it is the continuous development, continuous build. Okay, it is not going to be stopped, sir. Continuous build, continuous test. Okay, continuous test, continuous release, continuous release, like release of the software. Okay, continuous, everything is always continuous. It is a culture. Okay, what is the meaning of continuous integration, continuous delivery? Like this part I will discuss. Sir, have you observed? If you observe the logo of the DevOps, okay, it is a continuous process. Have you observed, right? It is a continuous process. The beauty, have a look once. It is a continuous process, infinity. It is never going to be stopped. Okay, for every new change, this model, this cycle is going to provide the support. Okay, this culture is highly recommended. Okay, to follow. This is the next level trend in the software industry, sir. Clear? Are you getting the basic introduction? Why DevOps? DevOps versus Agile, DevOps versus Waterfall model. Okay, what this new culture like? But anyway, technical words I didn't use. Sir, what are various automation tools are there? Okay, automation DevOps tools. Which tools are there? I didn't use these words. Maybe in the next session I will talk about which tools we are going to use, for which purpose these tools, which are very popular tools. Okay, like we will discuss. And then, sir, each tool one by one, we have to perform post-mortem. Okay, with the integration things. That's what you people should aware about DevOps. Yeah, how is defined DevOps, Waterfall, etc. Any organization? What is the meaning? What is the meaning of that? Currently, most of the people are always going to Waterfall already gone. Waterfall. Who is going to decide? Who is going to decide? So mostly the client came up with the requirement. Software company people are responsible, sir, to provide guidelines. Or the client side IT team will be there. They are going to impose. Can you please implement based on DevOps model like? So client side IT experts will be there. If the client is a small client or otherwise, okay, small scale client, then the software company itself is going to tell these are the possibilities like. Okay, like. Yeah. Next, Vasudevreddy is asking one small doubt. Okay, his doubt is, sir, even after using the product by client for 2 years, still DevOps will provide continuous support will be there. Yes, that's what. That is the beauty. My DevOps cycle, once my cycle is going to start, where it is going to end? Have you observed, right? Is it going to end anywhere? This is the DevOps cycle. Is it going to end anywhere? Are you seeing anywhere end point of my DevOps? It is infinite loop. Forever, this loop is going to execute. That's why beautifully they design logo. Okay, good. So, what is the difference between Ashutosh? What is the difference between Scrum and DevOps. Now you should not ask this question. Sir, what is the difference between Scrum and DevOps? You should not ask this question just because we covered almost multiple things. Just go through the video. Okay. Yeah. Sir, for DevOps generalist role, what development technology? Yeah, that's what. Okay. So here for DevOps generalist role, what development technology we have to give aware? That is our next cinema. Okay. Which technologies you have to, which tools you have to adapt to tell your role is DevOps generalist. So almost around 7 to 8 main tools are there. These tools I will discuss. Yes, Viraj, same. Yeah, same product can be modified again and again according to new requirement. If the product there is a change, sir, DevOps cycle is going to start another cycle. Okay, like. Yeah. DevOps is the process. Have you observed, right? DevOps is the culture. Okay, what should be followed? Like we will discuss all these things, the technical terms in the next level, so that you people can feel more comfortable. Okay, right. So thanks for everyone. I hope by this time you are getting the basic idea. What is the DevOps like? We will discuss in the next session, sir. Okay, thank you. Thanks for everyone. So in the last session, we covered the basic introduction to DevOps. Have you remembered, right? The basic introduction to DevOps we covered already. Okay, what is the difference between waterfall model versus agile model, and then DevOps culture? Okay, we covered about this one, sir. Next, even multiple important conclusions about DevOps we covered already, where everything is continuous. In the DevOps, have you observed, right? Where which is going to cover both the development and dev and operations, both it's going to be covered, where everything is continuous. Infinite cycle. If you remember that infinite cycle, if you remember, yes, the diagram, just have a look once, where everything is continuous planning, continuous coding, continuous build, continuous test, continuous release, continuous deploy, continuous operations, continuous monitoring. Sir, everything is continuous. It is infinite cycle, like I covered very clearly, yes, in the last sessions about these things, right? Okay, so related to that, whatever we discussed, just the top most important conclusions. Okay, just to enter into that world again, have a look once about these things, right? Okay, here just these are top most important conclusions what we discussed in the last session, right? Sir, DevOps is not a new tool or technology in the market. Yes, correct. It is a new culture or process to develop, release, and maintain software products. Next, DevOps is a combination of development and operations. Next, the main objective of DevOps is to implement a collaboration between development and operation teams, so that so we can develop within the less time, and we can operate very effectively. Okay, like everything is going to work very smooth way. Okay, to meet the client requirements, right? Next, here this point is the very important, sir. The beauty of DevOps is everything is automated, and we can use several automation tools for development and operations side. Can you please spell out, sir? Very important. In DevOps, everything is automated. We can use several automation tools for development and operations, right? So if you want to become DevOps engineer, there are multiple tools you require to perfect. Okay, there are multiple tools, version control tool, next a build tool, next and after that integration tools, configuration management tool, software, sir, hardware configuration, dockerization tool, like multiple tools you have to familiar, right? Of course, those tools, the people who perfection. Who got perfection about these tools will become, sir, a DevOps engineer, right? Next, a DevOps engineer should be all-rounder. He should aware everything else. His role is considered the DevOps generalist. Okay, like, sir, next, DevOps is not Agile model. Most of the people are always going to feel that it is the Agile model. No, Agile model always talks about until development only. But DevOps is going to talk about development and post-development. Post-development means even operations also. Complete cycle is going to be taken care by DevOps. Okay. Next, DevOps is an infinite loop where everything is continuous. Okay, like, sir, have you remembered, right? These words seems to be known words or not? Can you please confirm? Yes, friends, we covered already these things. Okay, like, next, sir, as the part of DevOps, okay, tools we require to discuss. So the first tool, the first concept what we have to talk, sir, in the development, if you observe the cycle, the first thing in the development part, okay, source code management, version control tool we require to discuss first. Okay, and then build tool, next release tool, next deploy tool, like multiple tools we are going to discuss. Don't worry at all. Okay, now the first tool what we have to talk about, version control system tool. Okay, this is the first thing what we have to discuss, right? Version control system tool. Okay, like, this concept we have to discuss. You know, version control system is also known as, okay, is also known as, any other word is there? Anyone, can you please confirm? Yes, friends, is also known as, version control system is also known as any other word? Please confirm. Respond. Version control system is also known as, some people may use the word software configuration management. Software configuration management. Okay, management, software configuration management, SCM. Okay, some people may use the word source code management also. Source code management, like, of course it is also SCM only, source code management also, like, but more meaningful word is either version control or software configuration management. Okay, this is, you should aware, sir. First thing, what is the need of version control system? You people should be aware. What is the need? Why we have to go for this version control system? What is the need of version control system? Next, how version control system will work? How version control system will work, sir? How it is going to work? Next, what are various benefits on version control system? Okay, if we discuss these, then you will have basic idea, right? Okay, next, and after that, okay, what are various types of version control systems? Types are version control control systems. Of course, there are two types are there: centralized and decentralized or distributed. Okay, so types are version control. Next, what the difference between okay, difference between, okay, centralized version control system and distributed version control system? What the difference, right? Next, and after that, okay, why we have to, sir, which tool we are going to discuss? Git we are going to discuss. What is the why what is about functionality of the Git, why it is the popular, and so on. Next, cinema is going to come. So this is this total is the basic introduction, which is the common for every version control system tools. Basic theoretical introduction, and then one special tool we are going to discuss, sir, version control system tool, which is nothing but Git. This is our agenda for the next 2 sessions, right? Is it clear, right? Yes, friends. What is the need of version control system? How the version control system is going to work? Next, what are various benefits are there? Next, types of version control system, difference between centralized and distributed version control system. Next, Git is next one tool we are going to discuss. That tool itself is Git, sir. Okay, now let me talk about need of version control system, sir. the people who don't know about version control system, compulsory you should have clear, you should concentrate more, because this basic terminology is the very important, sir. The people already familiar with some other version control systems like CVS or SVN or purpose, like no problem at all, just a basic idea better to get. Okay, like, so now what is the need? Why we have to go for version control system? Sir, one small scenario I will discuss for you people, so that you may get much clarity about this one, sir. Okay, like, sir, do you know, here assume I'm the developer. Okay, I'm the developer, sir. Assume that, okay, developer job is what? He's always going to respond. He's always going to write code. He's always going to write code. So this code will be maintained in the form of files. Okay, the files which contain code. Okay, like maybe .java program, .java files, or otherwise .py files, Python files. Anyway, sir, this is, sir. Now a client came, sir. Assume that a small client came, sir. He approached me. Assume that so Durga, he approached me. Sir, this is about my requirement. Can you please develop? Can you please? This is about my requirement. Can you please develop? Okay, code develop. Please develop this project. Develop this project. Like a small client came. Assume that I'm the freelancer. Small projects I can build on my own. Okay, like just assume that, sir. One client approached me. Then automatically I told yes. Okay, why not? I will develop the code for your requirement. Like, now what I did is, just observe carefully, sir. I started working on this one. Okay, like what happened is, sir, I created one folder. Assume for this client. Okay, for this client, this is just a client project, something like I created one folder. Now I wrote almost around 100 files. Assume .java files or .py files. Like I wrote multiple files to fulfill is a requirement. Okay, so client project, a folder I took, or a directory I took. In that, how many files I wrote, sir? Almost 100 files I wrote. 100 files developers, sir. Of course, each file contains the code only, right? Assume that. Now, sir, after developing this, just I went for the demo. Assume that I went for the demo. So I asked the client, okay, sir, I developed, completed my work. Can you please have a look? Like I told. Then immediately, client, yes, observed, client watched the demo clearly. Sir, after completing my demo, the client asked, so these are small changes I'm expecting. Can you please do these changes? Okay, so except that everything is good, can you please do these changes? Like he suggested some changes. He suggested some changes, right? Okay, now what I did is, so to make the client here, just observe the cycle here, right? Client, okay, client suggested some changes. Okay, so these changes I required. Like what I did is, in these 100 files, whatever I have, 100 files are there, right? So I changed some files, some files code, some files source code to meet the client requirement. Okay, to meet the client requirement. Like now observe very carefully, sir. Sir, are you imagining this scenario, right? Okay, if you are very freelancer, like yes, I hope you can imagine this scenario. Sir, I developed 100 files to meet his requirement. I gave the demo, but he asked some changes. So to meet his changes, all these 100 files, I changed some files. I changed some files, right? Okay, like again I gave the demo. Assume that again I gave the demo. Sir, now where I did these changes, right? In the existing files only. Here assume that some changes I did, here some changes I did, and I gave the demo. Again client asked, array, everything is good, but still some more changes. He suggested. Okay, what we did is, I gave the demo, and client suggested some more changes. Client required some more changes like that. Then again what I did is, sir, I changed some files again to meet the client requirement, right? Okay, assume that it may be repeated process until Client satisfied, right? Now, so some more files I changed, assume that here this file I changed, this file I changed. Next, sir, first demo completed, second demo completed. Okay, first demo completed, sir, and after performing the changes, second demo also completed. Now I did, sir, the changes again, and I went for the demo. Okay, assume that, sir, I gave demo third time. Third, I gave third demo third time. Sir, what happened is, after listening this, then the client asked, now observe that, Arey Durga, the day one, whatever you showed, it seems that thing is good. Can you please show that code again? Okay, like he asked. Have you observed, right? So can you please, because the client is always crazy, we don't know. So I thought that these changes are going to be, but these changes are not good after implementation. The day one, whatever you show, can you please show the code like? Then automatically my face with the bigger question mark face. What is the problem? What is the problem with me is, because in the same folder, in the same files, I performed every time changes. Are you getting? I performed every time changes. Okay, where is so first day one code, day two code, day three code, like such type of thing is not there with me. Then automatically, sir, that code is not there. The same code only I overwrite like. Then immediately the client asked, no, I don't know what you are going to do. I want day one, whatever the code you showed, can you please let me know? Okay, like. Then immediately I have to recollect, that day what colors I used, that day what code I changed, and so on. Is it a bigger problem or not? Yes, friend. Is it a bigger problem or not? Yes. So we should not overwrite our code. Remember this one. We should not overwrite our code. Okay, every version we have to maintain. Every version we have to maintain. Okay, like, sir, now observe that, sir, this is demo 1. This is for demo 2, version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4. Like I have to maintain. Sir, here one developer is there. Okay, one developer is there. We can maintain multiple folders. No problem at all. Suppose 100 developers are there. Are you getting? Suppose 100 developers are there. If 100 developers are there, how they are going to maintain? So each person is required to maintain multiple versions and so on. Is it a big difficult task or not? Please confirm. Is it very difficult task or not? Yes. Manually, sir, here do you know? Manually maintaining these many versions manually is a very big difficult task. This is one. Maintaining multiple versions. Maintaining multiple versions manually is a bigger task. Manually is a very difficult, very complex activity, sir. Activity, error prone. Okay, like, next, each and every change should be tracked. Array, who did the change? When, sir, this person did. Next, which lines he changed? Because assume scenario, not one developer. Assume scenario, multiple developers. Like, who did the change? What changes he did? Every change should be tracked. Okay, sir, who did? Every change should be tracked. Every change should be tracked. Like, who did the change? Who did the change? Okay, this is a bit important. Who did the change? Next, and after that, when he did the change. Next, which changes he did? At which lines he did the change? Which changes, sir? Which changes he did? Like, everything compulsory we require to maintain. Remember that a bit very, very carefully about this one, sir. Okay, suppose assume the scenario. Assume this is one scenario, right? Assume I have another scenario is there. Sir, developer A and the developer B, two developers are working. Okay, assume this is the developer A. Okay, developer A. Okay, assume that this is the developer B. Okay, sir, here assume this is the developer A and this person is the developer B. Two members are working. okay, for the client requirement, right? Okay, like sir, now my requirement is, as a part of his development, he developed a file named with util.java. Assume that, sir, util.java. He used one file. Next, he developed a file named with util.java. Okay, assume that. Maybe common generic terminology. He developed the code util.java. He developed the code util.java. If tomorrow, if I'm going to integrate this code, and if I want to deliver to the client, assume that if I'm going to integrate this code, if I deliver to the client, then definitely one file is going to overwrite with another. Correct or not? Yes, one file is going to overwrite with another at the time of integration, which may show abnormal behavior. Okay, like so what array, these changes should be there, these changes also should be there. Sir, overwriting of the files should not be happen, both the changes should be there. Okay, like how you can do, some mechanism must be required. That mechanism is nothing but version control system. Are you in the position to understand what is the need? Array version control system, main purpose is to maintain different versions. Second thing is, sir, here each and every change should be tracked. Okay, like so overwriting of the code should not be happen. Remember this one, sir. We should not overwrite. Overwriting of the code should not be happen. Okay, like next, assume that it is a bigger project. Assume that it is a bigger project, sir. Assume, sir, multiple developers are working. Sir, here assume that this is sir, my code. Developer A is working here. Developer B is working here. Developer C is working here. Developer D is working here. Assume that multiple people are working. Multiple people are working, sir. Sir, the code which is developed by A, he has to share to the remaining people. Are you getting right? He has to share to the remaining people. Remaining people should access the code which is developed by A. Same way, the code which is developed by B, he has to share to the peer developers, because all the people are working for the same project. They require to share the code. So to share this code to the peer developer, compulsory some mechanism must be required. That mechanism is nothing but version control system. Remember this one, sir. So developers have to share their code to peer developers. Developers has to share their code to peer developers. Next, so that multiple developers, so that here just observe that, so that multiple developers will work. Here just observe that multiple developers will work in collaborated way. It is the very important, sir. Next, parallel development must be required or not? Parallel development must be required. Okay, like so these are various reasons are there why we require to go for version control systems. Remember a bit very carefully about this terminology, right? Any doubt about this? Can you please confirm what is the need of version control system? So multiple versions we require to maintain. Each and every change should be tracked, should be stored. Remember that. So tomorrow I want version 1. Yes, no problem. You should be in the position to provide, whether it is a small project, whether it is a big project. Okay, like next, and after that, Okay, multiple developers should work in the collaborated way, sir, with the parallel development. Okay, like all these objectives, if you required at enterprise level, compulsory some system must be required, sir, to manage our software code, to manage our source code. Such a type of source code management system is nothing but version control system. All the people are in the position to understand clearly what the need of version control system. Any doubt? Respond so that I will continue. Okay, well, now how the version control system works, sir? You are telling all the files, if you are going to maintain in the same folder, we are not maintaining the versions, that's why the problems are going to come. Then if I use automatic, if I use some tool, that tool itself is the responsible to manage our versions. We are not required to create separate folders, we are not required to do all those things. My tool, my system itself is going to maintain how this version control system will work. You should aware. Okay, how version control system, how version control system works, sir? Take very very special care, sir. Okay, like sir, do you know version control system always talks about files, correct or not? Array, because code talks about files, like so version control system always talks about files. Remember this one, version control system always talks about files, which contain source code, source code, like sir, VC system, name of the no VC system is nothing but version control system. Name of the method, no, normal. Clear, right? Version control system always talks about the files which contain source code. Sir, here one small clarity you people should aware. What is that clarity is? Remember carefully, sir. Sir, version control system is required for the developers or not? I respond. Hey, version control system is required for the developers or not? Yes. Version control system is required for the testers. Version control system is required for the testers. Yes or no? Version control system is required for the architect. For the architect. Yes or no? Okay. There are some people who are telling no. Some people who are telling yes. Please make sure, sir. Don't feel version control system always talks about the source code. Okay. Any file, any document, I want to maintain multiple versions. Tomorrow, tester is going to write some test script. Multiple versions of same script is required to maintain. Version control system is required. Next and after that, here architect is there. Architect is there. He may develop some documents. He may develop some documents, design documents, like he may develop. So these multiple versions of these documents must be required. Remember that, okay? Like, sir, next and after that, project manager is there. Assume that project manager is there. He's always going to work with Excel sheets only. Excel sheets only. He's always going to work with Excel sheets. Multiple, do you know, sir, the same Excel sheet, multiple versions he may require to maintain. Okay, like so wherever multiple versions of same file is required to maintain, then we require to go for version control system. Okay, don't feel it is applicable only for the source code, it is applicable only for the program code. No, for any document, it is applicable. Remember, first you people should got this clarity, sir. Every person can use version control system. Okay, because they may require to maintain some document. For that document, multiple versions are required. For that, compulsory version control system is required. Most of the people are going to feel, sir, it is required only for source code. But being a developer, most of the times a DevOps engineer or developer, he's always talks about source code. That's why they may have that feeling. But every person required version control system tool. Remember, right? Okay, well. So now my question is, how this version control system works, sir. Sir, listen very carefully. Very carefully. This is the very important, sir. If you can understand this, nothing will be there in the remaining. Listen carefully, sir. Sir, here, assume that, sir, I have one directory is there where I'm going to develop all my files. Remember this. Okay, this is, I can use the word working directory. Okay, remember a bit very carefully, sir. Working directory, or sometimes we may use the word workspace. Working directory, or sometimes we may use the word workspace. Okay, like there, I have to develop the code. Assume that. Sir, I want to develop 3 files. Assume, sir, multiple files I may require to write. Sir, assume that three files I'm going to develop. I developed 3 files. Assume that, sir. Sir, the first file a.java. I'm taking a.java. Next and after that, here second file b.java. Next the third file c.java. Okay. Now observe very carefully. It is just like our project folder where I'm maintaining 3 files. Can you please tell, for these files, version control system is available or not? Not applicable. Remember that, not applicable. If you want a version control system, something must be required. That the thing itself is considered as a repository. Remember very carefully. What is this word, sir? Very important. Do you know, lakhs of times you people are going to legend this word repository. So what is the difference between working directory or workspace and a repository? Very important, sir. Can you please spell out what is the difference? Anyone? So repository, here version control is applicable, but working directory version control is not applicable, but both to store files only. Remember that repository maintain files, a group of files. Working directory also maintain group of files. But in the working directory, you never going to use the word version 0, version 1, version 2, version 3. But repository always talks about version 0, version 1, version 2. Are you getting? Repository is under version control, but working directory is not under version control. Remember this one. Getting right? So working directory is what the developer is working currently. That thing is by default considered as working directory. Manish. Yes, whatever the version is going to pull. Okay, whatever the version is going to, that particular version files these working directory. But anyway, so observe very important, sir. So working directory where developers are required to create or modify files. Okay, like next here version control is not applicable. Any doubt about this one? Here we never going to use the word. Here we can't use or we won't use the word like version 1, version 2, version 3, etc. There is no such type of terminology. It is a simple folder. Okay, like any doubt? Don't get confused. First you have to get clear picture. Okay, like next repository. Okay, like repository where we have to store files. We have to store files and metadata. What is the metadata? We will discuss in detail, sir. Okay, metadata where we have to store files and metadata. Okay, what is the meaning of metadata? Extra data. What is the meaning of that? I will read. So next here version control is applicable. Remember here we can talk about sir versions. Here we can talk about versions like version 0. Okay, version 0, version 1, version 2, okay, etc. Yeah, good. So what is the difference between working directory and a repository. Any doubt about this one? Sir, this is the basic terminology, friends. Throughout, if you use any version control system tool, this terminology is the very, very important, right? Okay, now observe carefully. Sir, developer, he developed these three. He want to go for the demo. Before going for the demo, what this person did is he saved all these files inside the repository. Okay, like sir, can you please observe? He sent these files inside a repository, into the repository. He sent these files, right? Further, so he may require some client version control system. Client he may require, sir. Don't worry about this. So what is this Git or otherwise like SVN, CVS, like some client program will be there. Okay, client program will be there to send these files to the repository. Okay, like sir, before giving the demo, what he did is he saved these files inside a repository. How many files he saved? Can you please spell out? Respond. How many files he saved? He saved how many files? 3 files. A.java, B.java, C.java. Like now, what happened is, now observe very carefully, sir. Sir, here these 3 files will be stored in the form of commit. Remember this one, in the form of commit. Sir, here for every commit, a separate commit ID will be there. Assume that C101. Actually, if it is the Git, sir, a unique ID which is going to represent this particular version, this particular commit. Okay, like I can use the word, this is version 0 or version 1. Okay, like sir, now observe in the repository, all this data stored in the form of commit. Okay, like the process of sending files from working directory to the repository, this process is by default considered as commit. Remember this one, very, very important word. What is the meaning of commit, son? Committing the changes. Okay, like sir, what is the meaning of commit? Just at very top level I'm talking the process of sending files from working directory to the repository. Okay, like this process is by default considered as commit. Every commit associated with a unique ID hash, which is nothing but a commit ID. Okay, like assume that this is the version 1. Any doubt? Please confirm. Clear up to this? Okay, well, sir, now what happened is he gave the demo to the client. The client told, array, some changes are required. Please do the changes. Like he asked to do some changes, right? Okay. To meet his requirement, the client requirement, he did some changes inside A.java and C.java. He did some modifications. Assume that, sir. He did some modifications. Assume. Now, before going to the second demo, again, these changes he committed, sir. Again, these changes he committed in the repository. Okay, like he sent to the repository. But this time, how many files he is going to send? Can you please confirm? Respond. How many files he is going to send? Because he did modification only 2 files. Only 2 files. That's why these 2 files are required to store. The remaining file will be considered automatically from the previous version. No problem, because only modified things, sir, we require to send. Assume that the corresponding commit ID, assume that the corresponding commit ID C102 and it is version 2. Okay, like version 2. Okay, like now, sir, in every commit ID, okay, complete information is there. When this commit happened, who did this change, what changes he did, everything is going to be recorded, friend. Okay, if you want, you can ask, hey, commit 101, what changes, which files are there, which changes did, who did, what is his mail ID, what is his surname, like everything is going to be there in the commit. In detail, we are going to discuss. Next, second time he gave for the demo. Assume that first time he gave, so he developed. Sir, second time also he gave for the demo. What happened is, okay, he told some changes. Array, can you please do some changes in b.java, like he asked, can you please do some changes inside b.java, like he asked, sir. What happened is, yes, he did some changes inside b.java, and then he went, sir, to give the demo. But before that, he saved these files in the repository. Okay, now can you please tell how many files he required to save? Please confirm. This time he did modification only for one file b.java, only one file b.java. Now for this, associated with the commit C103, and I can use the word, it is the version 3. Version 3. Remember this one, sir? Okay, like now, sir, the client, after seeing this demo, array, I not happy with these changes. Whatever you showed on the day one, can you please provide? Can you please show? Can you please show the day one, whatever you gave the demo? I want those files. I want that demo. Can you please show again? Like he asked. Yeah, am I in a position to give the demo or not? Can I bring first day one? Day one means version 1. Am I in the position to give the demo or not? Yes. From the repository, array repository. So and so date on 7th. On 7th, I saved one commit is there. Can you please provide the files related to that commit? Like I can ask. Now I have to bring files from repository. From repository. Okay, from repository to my current working directory. Then all these files, whatever there, will override with these specified version files. Remember this one. This process is by default considered as check out process. Sometimes we can use the word pull operation, clone operation, like so version 2, I mean tool to tool, that terminology is going to be changed. Don't worry at all. Check out operation, right? Okay, right. Sir, now can you please tell what is the meaning of checkout? Please confirm. Can you please confirm what is the meaning of checkout? Checkout means the process of sending files from. We respond. The process of sending files from. The process of sending files from repository to working directory. Repository to working directory, right? Okay, now, sir, all these old files are going to overwrite with this particular version file. Now I'm in the position to give the demo to the client. Okay, now if the client is asking about version 1, version 2, version 3, any version, I'm in the position to tell clearly. Okay, so there we required some mechanism to maintain all our versions. We required some mechanism to track all my changes. Such type of mechanism is nothing but version control mechanism. I hope everyone in the position to understand. Any explanation is required about this one? How the version control system will work? Files store as the form of commit. Yes. 1 minute. Some student is asking the doubt. File. Yes, file store in the form of commit. What is the meaning of commit in this statement? Sir, what is the commit? Commit means a group of files which are stored at a particular point of time. Normal. A group of files. Okay. It is one version, something like. So don't worry. We are going to do multiple commits. So multiple commits, like it is just one ID or one commit object which is going to contain the state of particular time interval. It is not a directory. Okay, don't feel it's not a directory. Okay, repo is a directory. In that, all these commits will be stored. Commit object which internally contain these files. Okay, something like you can consider. Yeah, clear? Everyone in the position to understand how version control system works. Okay, this is what is next. The basic basic version control system terminology. Version control system terminology also must be important. The basic version control system terminology, it is also very important, sir. What is the meaning of working directory? Sir, where developers are required to work? Where developers are required to work? This is also known as workspace. Here, version control is not applicable. Here, you can't use the word version 1, version 2 like repository. Okay, like repository where we have to store files and metadata. Here version control is applicable. Here we can talk about versions like version 1, version 2, version 3, something like this. Next, and after that, what is the meaning of commit operation? What is the meaning of commit operation? And what is the meaning of checkout operation, right? You should have clear clarity about this terminology. Any doubt? So the basic idea, but this repository, this what we are going to use lakhs of times. Commit, this what we are going to use lakhs of times in our version control system, day to day being developer's life. Clear, right? Are you getting the basic idea? What is how the version control system is going to work? That's it. Sir, now the next thing what I have to discuss. Sir, what are various benefits of version control system? Yeah, we know we are seeing multiple benefits. Benefits of version control system. What are various benefits are there? Benefits of version control system. Sir, can you please tell what are various benefits of version control system? It is like various versions of Python, versions of Linux they are using. Yes, Viraj, same thing only. Commit is the process name or group of files. Yes, both. Nirmal, commit can be used as a verb. Commit can be used as a noun. Remember this. Commit is a verb. At the same time, commit is a verb, noun. So means it is a process. Next, at the same time, it is the thing which is going to hold. Yeah. So can you please tell, sir, what are various benefits are there for the version control system? We can maintain different versions or not? Can you please confirm? We can maintain different versions, and we can choose any version, any version based on client requirement. Like, okay. Now, next, with every version or commit, okay, we can maintain metadata. Remember this very carefully, sir. With every version or commit, we can maintain. Maintain, sir, metadata. We can add metadata like, sir, here, like commit message. Sir, this command. So just this command for so and so purpose. Okay, like a commit message. Next, and after that, do you know who did changes? Changes. Next, when he did the change. When he did the change. He did the change. Next, and after that, next, when he did the change. Next, sir, next, what changes he did? What changes he did? Like a complete extra information will be maintained with every version or with every commit. Remember. Are you getting? Yes, metadata. Now, Ashutosh, I hope you can understand. What is the meaning of metadata? Metadata. Sir, who commit these changes? When the commit message happened? Okay, like, sir, git log, like you are going to use, right? The same. Of course, I don't want to use technical terminology. First, get the basic idea right. That is the very, very important. Next, sir, you know, it provides environment. Version control system provides environment to share his code to the other developers, right? Okay, developers can share the code to the peer developers, right? So any developer can share the code to the peer developer in very easy way. Okay, next, multiple developers can work. Multiple developers can work in collaborated way. Very, very important, sir. collaborative way. Okay, like next collaborated way. Next, is it enable parallel development or not? Yes, parallel development, it is enabled, sir. So if version control system is not there, then what will happen here? First developer 1 is required to work, and then developer 2, and then developer 3. Like no, now version control system is there. All changes will be tracked. No problem. Developer A, developer B, developer C can work simultaneously. Whatever he changes, okay, whatever the changes he did will be stored. Whatever changes he did will be stored. Whatever changes will be stored will be stored. Next, the final version also will be ready. If there is any conflict, there is a mechanism is there to resolve those conflicts also. Don't worry at all. Okay, so these are various benefits are there because of version control. Next, one more thing, maybe at this stage you may not get much clarity, but while going on you will get much clarity about this. Sir, we can, do you know, we can provide access control. We can provide access control, like who can read code, who can modify code, who can modify code, something like even such type of access control also we can implement by using version control mechanism. Clear, friends? Are you in the position to understand what is the meaning? Sir, what are various benefits are there for the version control system? So a layman also should understand, the people who are not having any technical terminology, because most of the times DevOps engineer is non-technical people also will be there. Compulsory they should aware. Okay, are you feeling comfortable? Sir, up to this, what we covered? What is the need of version control system? What is the need of version control system? Version control system. Okay. Next, how version control system will work? How version control system will work? Okay. Next, the basic terminology. The basic terminology of version control system. Version control system. Okay. Next, what are various benefits are there? Benefits of version control system. Benefits of version control system. That's all. These are various things what you people should aware. Okay, in the next we will talk about what are types of version control systems. Types of version control systems. Types of version control systems we will discuss. Okay, there are multiple types are there. I mean, 2 types are there basically. Next, what is the difference between difference between these types? Difference between centralized and distributed. Okay, next, the basic idea I will provide, the basic introduction to the Git, so that you people can feel comfortable, right? That's all. Yes, sir. Version control system control is never ending. Yes, obviously in DevOps, any terminology if you are going to use, for every word continuous continuous delivery, continuous development, continuous delivery, continuous development, continuous testing. So in the DevOps terminology, everything is the continuous. So version control also never going to end. It is also under infinite loop only. Is your development is going to end anywhere? Is it continuous process or not? Yes, it is a continuous process. Then obviously version control is also continuous process only. Yeah, that's all, friends. Client is always so that particular version will be there, okay, which is there in the production as of now. But tomorrow changes are there. Then obviously next level changes, next version. Next level changes, next version. Okay, like. Yeah. Okay, that's all, friends. So in the next session, we will talk about this. Okay, so that you will get much clarity. Thanks for everyone. In the last video, we covered very clearly about, okay, the basic introduction to DevOps already we did, sir. Okay, sir, why DevOps is required? Yes, already waterfall model is there. Next, Agile model is there. Waterfall model versus Agile versus Agile, and then versus Agile, and then sir Devops. I told very clearly the differences between these models. Why Devops is the very popular. I covered in the first session, right? Sir, in the next, sir, we covered about sir version control. The first tool, sir, what we started version control systems. We covered about this discussion, right? What is the need of version control systems, sir? Why what is the need of version control systems? Okay, like we discussed how version control systems work, sir, how the version control systems are going to work. Next, the basic terminology of version control systems, the basic terminology of version control systems we covered. Next, and after that, even version control system we covered. Next, what are various benefits of version control system? Okay, like we discussed about these things in the second session. I hope you people are in the position to understand clearly, right? Yes, up to this, any doubt, any explanation is required for you people, right? So just these two things, right? But anyway, here, so just 2 minutes, let me review, because very important, right? Can you please spell out what are various benefits are there for the version control system? Anyone, can you please tell, sir? Sir, we can maintain what the main benefits, right? We can maintain different versions. We can maintain different versions of our software product, so that based on our requirement we can choose any version. Okay, sir, new version won't overwrite old version. Remember this one, sir. Next, every change should be tracked. Correct or not? Every change should be tracked. Okay, who did the change? Next, when who did the change? Next, when he did the change, when he did the change. Next, sir, what changes he did? Okay, like everything should be tracked. Like tracking is there. Next, and after that, okay, the developers can work, can work in collaborated way. Okay, have you observed, right? In collaborated way. Okay, developers will work, multiple developers, they can work in collaborated way. Okay, like next, and after that, it enables parallel development. Have you remembered, right? It enables parallel development. Okay, like so that we can complete the project development within the less time and so on. So n number of advantages are there for the version control systems. Compulsory in real time, compulsory we have to use a version control system, sir, while developing our code. Any doubt about this? Please confirm. Are you in the position to understand, right? In the last session, all these things I covered very clearly, sir, very clearly, right? Okay, like next, and after that, this basic terminology of version control system, it is the very important, sir, to continue further even in today's session also. Okay, what basic terminology, right? Sir, I covered about workspace. Okay, workspace or working directory. Have you remembered? Next, I covered about the most valuable, very important things, sir. What is that? Repository. Regarding what is that? Repository. Next, and after that, commit. Next, and after that, I used the word checkout. Okay, these 4 words also very important, sir, for further continuation. Any doubt about this, sir? Workspace or working directory? What about repository? What about commit? And what about checkout? Okay, very simple terminology here. Just observe carefully, right? Suppose here, just assume that this is my working directory. Okay, whatever files I want to create, here I require to create my files. Assume that, sir. Okay, these are various files. Okay, sir, whatever files we are going to create, whatever files we are going to modify, all those things where it will be there, sir, version will be there in working directory. Sir, working directory, some people may use the word workspace. Okay, workspace holds the files which are created or which are developed by okay, developer, right? Any doubt about this one, sir? Here one small thing is there. Okay, here just if you observe, assume that it is the repository. Okay, assume that it is the repository, right? Okay, inside the repository also, inside the repository also, of course our files are available. Okay, our files are available, right? So in the repository also our files are available. But what is the difference between working directory and the repository? Anyone, can you please tell? Very, very important. To continue further, this difference must be compulsory. You people should be aware, sir. What is the difference between working directory and repository? Ashutosh, yes. What is the difference between these two things, right? Can you please spell out? Yes. Okay. Here, very simple, sir. Working directory, sir, not having version control. Remember this one, sir. Not having working directory, not having version control. Okay, version control. Here we never going to talk about. Versions. Array first version, second version, such type of terminology. Versions terminology not applicable. Not applicable. Okay, remember this one. So version control, such type of terminology is not there here. Okay, next sir, next versions, first version, second version, such type of things are not applicable. But in repository, all files are under version control. All files are under version control. Version control. Here we will maintain different versions. Okay, we will maintain different versions based on our requirement. We can choose the required version. Okay, like sir, here also files are available, here also files are there, but here also files are there, but here the files will be stored in the form of versions. Remember a bit very, very carefully about this one, sir. Sir, all files are under version control. Remember, here we can talk about first version, second version, third version, like that's all. Any doubt? So what is the difference between working directory and repository? So once you have repository, then only version control is available. Just like a workspace, only with workspace you never going to get version control. Okay, clear? I hope these first two words are clear. Next term, what is about commit, sir? Commit means, sir, I developed some files. My work got completed. I have to save these files. Okay, for the future purpose. What I have to take here, you have to send these files from working directory to repository for versioning purpose. Are you getting right? We have to send our files from working directory to repository for versioning purpose. Okay, sir, this operation is by default considered. Yes, can you please spell out what is this operation, sir? Commit operation, right? Commit means sending files from working directory to repository at very top level general terminology, right? Remember this a bit carefully, sir. But in the Git, maybe small differences are there. Maybe in the clear cases, small differences are there. But this terminology, the general terminology, which is applicable for any version control systems. Okay, like, sir, tomorrow I want version 2. Assume that, sir, I want version 2, sir. These version 2 files I want to move from repository to current working directory. Okay, this process, the process of bringing the files from repository to current working directory, this process is by default considered, yeah, checkout. Remember that this process is by default considered as what? Checkout. Is it clear for all of you, right? These 4 words are very, very important, sir, to continue further. Okay, but anyway, all these things I covered very clearly in the last session, not required to keep much explanation about this terminology, right? Okay, well, sir, now in today's session, what we have to talk, sir? Sir, these basics already we discussed, sir. What is the need? What is the need of version control system? How version control system works? Next, and after that, here, next, basic terminology related to version control system. Next, what are various benefits are there? These things we covered. Now, the next important thing, sir, types of version control systems. Types of version control system. This part we have to discuss, right? Remember this, sir. All version control systems are divided into, sir, 2 types. Remember this one, sir. All version control systems are divided into how many types? Can you please spell out? Respond. How many types? two types, right? Sir, the first one is centralized. Observe carefully, sir. The first one is centralized version control system. Centralized version control system is the first one. Sir, if the first one is the centralized, you can guess automatically what the second one. What the second one? Here the first one is the centralized. Obviously, what is the second one, sir? Can you please confirm? Sir, centralized means decentralized. Okay, decentralized. Okay, like sir, the second model is decentralized, which is also known as distributed version control systems. Okay, like so all version control systems are divided into two types, right? Based on working style. Okay, how they are going to work based on that. Two types of version control systems are there. The first one, centralized version control system. Second one, sir, decentralized or distributed version control system. Is it clear for all of you, right? Two categories are there. But what is about these things, right? Okay, like how the functionality, like next one more thing you should be aware. Sir, one thing is enough. Why we have second one? Anyone, can you please tell? If second one also came in the picture, means general idea. What? Array, with the first one, there are some problems got raised. To overcome these problems, we should go for second one. Yes, usually it is the general tendency or not. If two things are there, two models are there, in the first one, assume that in the first one, okay, there are some problems are there. To overcome these problems, we have to go for second one. Yes, your assumption is the correct. The same. Which problems are there in the first one? How you can overcome these problems in the second? We are going to discuss in detail. Don't worry at all, sir. Okay, like sir. Now let me go for the first one, centralized version control system. Can I go further up to this? Any doubt? Please confirm. How many types of version control systems are there? Two types, sir. In that, the first category is the centralized, second category is the decentralized or distributed. Sir, what is the working style? How the functionality of these and what problems are there? What positives are there? We have to perform post-mortem. Okay, like now here just observe a bit carefully about one important terminology, right? Sir, centralized version control system. The name itself indicates, sir, centralized. What is the meaning of centralized? Respond. Sir, here in this, we are using centralized. What is the meaning of centralized? The name itself indicates this type of version control system contains only one central, only one, sir, only one repository. Are you getting right? Only one repository. Okay, like sir, working directories maybe multiple things are there, no problem at all. But this repository will be only one central repository. Only one central repository. Okay, that's why only one central repository. Every developer is required to connect with that. And to connect with that to continue his work. Remember this one, sir. So here in the centralized version control system, how many repositories are there? Only one repository. Even 100 developers are there, 1000 developers are there, but how many repositories are there? Only one repository. Right? Only one central repository will be there. Every developer is required to connect with them to continue his work. Remember this a bit very carefully, sir. Here just observe this a bit carefully, right? Okay, now I'm taking, assume that this is a central repository server. The machine on which a central repository is there. Okay, like central repository server. Okay, in the central repository, the data will be stored in the form of versions. I hope you people may be aware, right? Yes, friends. Sir, version database like versions will be there in the repository, either responsible to maintain our files in the form of versions. Okay, assume that this is the version 1. Okay, like sir, now assume that this is the version 2. Okay, like next and after that, assume this is the version 3. Like multiple versions by default will be there. Okay, assume that, sir. Sir, now all the developers, okay, assume that there are multiple developers are there. Assume, sir, this is a developers workspace. Okay, assume that this is the developers workspace, right? Okay, developers workspace. Developers workspace or working directory. Any word you can use, right? No problem at all, sir. This is the developers workspace, like I'm taking, sir. Now here in this developers workspace, whatever files he required, he will get the files from the central repository and he will work. Okay, assume that, sir, here there are several files are available. Okay, sir, there are several files. What he is going to provide to the central repository, or he will get the files from the central repository. Like now, observe this, sir. If a developer is required to work, what he will do is he will connect with the central repository and he will get the required files. And he will start working on those files. Now observe very carefully. This process is very important, sir. How the developer will get the files? How the developer will get the files? Two ways. He may create new file. Or he will get from the repository. Okay, anyway. Sir, after completing his total work, now he has to commit that work to central repository. Remember this a bit carefully, sir. Sir, getting files from central repository to the working directory. This process is by default considered as, can you please confirm? Can you please confirm this process is by default considered as what? Check out. Okay. Have you observed, right? This process is by default considered checkout. Now, sir, once the developer completed his work, he has to, sir, send these files to the central repository for versioning. Okay, for tracking sake. Okay, this process is by default considered. Yeah. What is this operation, sir? Please guide. I forgot to commit. Okay, like any doubt about this one? Please confirm up to this. So the developer's mission contain the files, whatever the files on which files he is working, only those files are there, but the total code will be available in the central repository. Remember a bit carefully, sir. Like how many developers will be there, sir? Okay, maybe a chance multiple developers are there. Okay, just observe carefully, right? Okay, sir, multiple developers are there. Okay, like now developer 1, developer 2, developer 3, like developer 4, multiple developers are going to work. So all these developers, every time he required to communicate with the central repository, he will get some files. After completing the work, he will commit those things to the central repository. Sir, any doubt about this diagram? Can you please confirm? Please observe that. So everything is available. Yet our code is available. Total code is available at central repository. That's why this model is considered centralized version control system. So version control is happening at only one place. Version control is happening at only one place. That place is a central repository. Okay, like sir, now it is a very easy to use. It's very easy to set up, sir. So I hope why the word centralized. Is it clear for all of you, right? Yes, friends. Any doubt about this one? Okay. Now can you please tell the total work, the total project code, will be stored where? Please confirm. You have to tell. Will be stored where? Will be stored in. The total project code will be stored in central repository. Correct or not? The total project code will be stored in central repository. Developer will connect with that central repository server and he will get some files. He will work on those files. After completing his work, he will send those files to the repository. Okay, like next, all operations. Okay, like sir, this is checkout, commit. All these operations will be performed on the central repository, but not in in the developer's workspace. Okay, remember the developer workspace in this model is the dummy which contain only working files. Okay, like next, this type of version control system is very easy to set up, very easy to set up, and easy to use, and easy to use. Remember this one, sir. This type of version control system is very easy to set up and very easy to use. Sir, have you ever heard about CVS? I respond. CVS. I hope you people may heard about CVS. Yes, a CVS is one type of version control system tool. Remember that CVS. Okay, next and after that SVN. Next and after that purpose. Okay, just aware the words. The people who don't know, the people who are very beginners, who don't know, who are not having real-time experience, this terminology just you should aware. Sir, in companies, the people who are working already in the companies, you people can aware CVS, SVN, purpose. Next, clear case. Okay, clear case, TFS, all these things are, all these tools are based on centralized version control system. Remember that CVS, if you want to learn CVS, SVN, clear case, purpose, all these tools are based on centralized version control system model only. Clear, right? So there are multiple tools are there, sir. Almost, do you know, just very recently this distributed came, but before that years the people worked on these models only. I mean with these tools only. Okay, like so how centralized version control system? What is the functionality of this? How many repositories are there? How the developers are going to connect and so on? Everyone got the basic idea about this with this diagram. Any explanation is required? Clear, I hope. Regarding the functionality basic idea, everyone got. Now my question is, if two things are there, compulsory the first one having some limitations. That's why we have to go for second one, right? We have to go for second one. Something like the king married second marriage. Okay, second marriage, even though he has first wife, but still he's going for second marriage for second wife. Are you getting? So maybe he's not feeling comfortable with the first wife. Okay, the king is not feeling that much comfortable with the first wife. That's why he is going for alternative second type of model. Okay, like a decentralized or distributed version control. Now my question is, which problems are there? Which problems are there with the centralized version control system? Limitations. Okay, limitations of this centralized version control system. Okay, like sir, can you please confirm what is the problem number one? We will list out easily, you can understand, nothing will be there, sir. So the first thing, the first problem, sir, here the total project code is available where? Is available where? The total project code is saved at a central repository. Regarding a central repository, tomorrow if something happened to the central repository server, regarding if something happened to this central repository server, then recovery, is it easy or difficult? Can you please confirm? Is it recovery? Is it easy or difficult? Yes, definitely it is difficult. Remember this one, sir. Remember this. Compulsory, it's a difficult because everything stored at single place. But something happened to that place, then it's always a bigger problem, friend. Okay, like so limitations. Remember that the first limitation, the total project, the total code stored at a single place. Stored at a single place, central server, central repository. Okay, if something goes wrong to this central repository server, then recovery is difficult, which causes a single point of failure. Remember this one, which is the very dangerous. If you identify identified single point of failure, if something happened to this centralized server, then automatically the total system is going to be, the total environment is going to be collapsed. Remember, single point of failure, there is a chance. If something goes wrong, okay, recovery is very difficult. Recovery is very, very difficult. Is it clear for all of you, right? First one, okay, because all the things are available at same place. If something goes wrong, then recovery is the very difficult. This is first problem, okay, with this model, right? Now the second problem, sir, this is also very, very important, sir. Sir, if I want to, I'm the developer A. Assume that I'm the developer A. I want to perform checkout operation. How you can perform checkout operation? You have to connect with the, respond. You have to connect with the remote repository server, central repository server. Okay, and then over the network, because don't feel central repository server is available in your local machine. It is available somewhere at a remote location. You require to connect via network to the central repository server, and then you have to require to get those files. Okay, well, checkout operation should be happen over the network by connecting with the remote server. Okay, like next I want to perform, yes, I did my required changes. I want to commit these changes. Again, where commit operation should be performed, right? Can you please tell where the commit operation should be performed? Again, commit operation should be performed on central repository server. Remember a bit very carefully, right? Now, sir, all check out and the commit operations, all checkout and commit operations will be performed by connecting with the remote central repository server, server line. All checkout and commit operations will be performed by connecting with the central repository server. Okay, like now, so the central repository server, that is, so all developers should be connected with the central repository always. Correct or not? Central repository always should be connected, sir, because every version control operation should be performed with the central repository server only. Okay, so compulsory should be connected, sir. Checkout operation you require to connect, commit operation you require to connect, checkout operation you require to connect, commit operation you require to connect. Then automatically, so central, that is all developers should be connected with the central repository always. By mistake, if network outage, if network outage, sir, network down, what will happen? Have you observed, right? What will happen if the network outage, sir? Okay, there is a problem came in the network. Network is down. What will happen now? Have you observed the problem? Now version control won't be there for the developers. Have you observed? Version control won't be available for the developers. I hope, are you imagining the problem, right? Yes, friend, are you visualizing the problem, right? If there is a network outage, maybe a chance. If there is a network outage, version control won't be available for the developers. Remember that a bit very carefully, right? Okay, so compulsory, sir, developers mission, developers workspace and the central repository should be connected always. If there is any network outage, version control won't be available for the developers. Sir, do you know, sometimes you went to the bank, this type of problems are there. You went to the bank, sir, I want to deposit some amount. Sometimes you may got server down. Okay, server down, can you please come after server down, can you please come after 1 hour, after some time, like. Okay, if you are going for registration office, Okay, registration office to register some land or otherwise some place you want to register, sir. If you are going for registration office, sometimes you may get sir, server down, sorry, registrations are not going to be happen, sir. When the server will up, I don't know, maybe today or tomorrow sometime. Have you ever faced this type of problem? Yes, friends, have you ever faced this type of problem? Server down, server down, something like so. If the network outage is there, then this developer's workspace, sir, developer can't communicate with the central repository server. Then automatically, do you know? So version control are not available to the developer's machine until network again, sir. Until network availability, compulsory this developer is required to wait. Okay, there is no other alternative at all. So either clear? Any doubt about this second problem? Yes, Ashutosh, we will discuss that part. Yes, are you seeing any doubt about this problem? Can you please confirm? Either clear, right? What the meaning of outage? Nirmal, outage means network down. Network down. There is a network failure. That a technical word outage, like if network outage is there means. Okay, clear. Next, third very important thing, sir. Third one very important point, sir. Observe carefully, sir. Commit operation and the checkout operation. If you want to perform commit and checkout operation, compulsory, okay, we have to connect with the central repository server or not? Yes, yes, all commit and checkout operations will be performed by connecting with the remote central repository server only. Okay, like all checkout and commit operations will be performed by connecting with remote central repository server. Okay, like now, so means the operations should be performed over the network. Remember this, the operations will be performed over the network, and these are not local operations. Remember these ones, sir. These are not local operations. Sorry, in your mission, I want to perform commit. Sorry, man. In your mission, I want to perform checkout. Sorry. Compulsory to perform commit or to perform checkout, you require to connect. You require to connect with the remote repository. These are not local operations. Once these are not local operations, so the operation is going to take much time, which affect the performance. Regarding performance is sir low because of this network issue, right? Okay, so because the operations are not local, remote operations we require to perform, definitely it is going to take some time. That's why the speed is very low, our performance is low. Okay, like you should aware. Clear? Any doubt? Are you in the position to understand, right? Okay, the third problem. Now the fourth problem, sir. Okay, very important, sir. Everything is going to be available at a central repository server. Organization of central repository server is very difficult if number of developers increases or number of files are huge. If huge number of developers are otherwise, if the number of developers increases, okay, or number of files increases for version control increases, number of files increases, then organization of central repository is a bit difficult. Organization of central repository is a bit difficult. Remember this a bit carefully, sir. Sir, for the if less number of developers are there, if less code is there, then no problem at all. If tomorrow instead of 100 developers, 1000 developers are required to work, it will become huge project. There are huge number of files I require to maintain for version control. Then automatically this centralized version control system is completely hands up. Sorry, I can't provide support. Clear, right? Are you seeing multiple problems with this central repository, centralized version control system or not? Yes, the first problems are single point of failure. Remember this one. If something goes wrong to the central repository, there is a bigger problem. Recovery is not that much easy. Next, client mission and repository mission, developer mission, repository mission should be connected always. By mistake, network outage is there is a bigger problem is going to come. Okay, like next, the third one, sir, the operation should be performed remotely but not locally. That's why performance impact is also there. If the number of developers increases, the number of files per version control increases, then central repository, organization of central repository server is become more complex. That's why for small projects or for small application, this type of model is good. If a huge number of developers are required to work, if it is a big project, this model is not at all recommended. Clear? Are you in the position to understand why the king goes for second marriage? Are you getting? So he's not happy with his first wife. That's why he's going for the second marriage. But the reason for that, these are the problems, okay, with the first wife. Now it's a very way. There are multiple tools, man. This is not so. Don't underestimate this model. This model is also provides good support, but up to certain level. If for huge projects, this model is not at all recommended. CVS, SVN, Purpose, Clear Case, next TFS, like all these tools, all these tools, is already all these tools are based on centralized version control system only. Remember clearly, right? Okay, now here to overcome these limitations, we have to go for decentralized or distributed version control system. Are you getting right? What is the second one we have to talk? Sir, distributed version control system. Remember this a bit carefully, sir. Sir, in this first diagram, are you feeling any difficulty to understand this one? Yes, friends. Everyone feels comfortable, right? Nothing, no unknown thing, no Greek and Latin. Easy, understandable thing only. Okay, like now here, let me go for second model. How this model answer all the problems whatever we have in the central model. Okay, like in the centralized version control system, which problems are there? Like I will discuss. Now observe very carefully about this one. Now observe carefully, right? Sir, here the first one centralized. Which one is the centralized? Friend, which one is the centralized? Ayo, you have to tell. The first one is the centralized. Which one is the centralized? Why you are silent? Respond. Repository is the centralized. A single repository we are maintaining for all the developers, right? Now the second one is distributed. Sir, now which is the distributed? Have you observed which is the distributed? Again, can you please tell which thing got distributed, right? Now again repository. Again repository is distributed. Again repository is distributed. Okay, like sir, now what is the meaning of this one, sir? Okay, if 4 developers are there, how many repositories are there in the first model? Respond. If 4 developers are there, how many repositories are there in the first model? Only 1 repository. If 4 developers are there, okay, if 4 developers are there, then how many repositories will be there? Then can you please spell out, sir? If 4 developers are there, then how many repositories will be there? Okay, 4 repositories will be there. Remember this one. 4 repositories will be there. But there is one concept named with remote repository. If it is there plus 1, anyway, as of